Lesson 4.3 Exponents of I. Our objective today is that students will be able to write and evaluate complex number. Previously, we talked about I is equal to the square root of -1 and I squared is equal to -4. We said that there were a special pattern after every 4. So this is an easy way to remember this. It's called I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. So look at the I. It's ice cream. So this is really a special set of ice cream here. So at 1 scoop, which is 25 cents, it's I to the first power. This is 2 scoop, which is I to the second. So let's make this I to the first. This is I to the third. And this is, where should I write this? Right here. I to the fourth. Remember we said it was in a rotation? So at 25 cents, it's the first ice cream. 1 scoop is I. 2 scoops are -1. 3 scoop are -I. And 4 scoop is 1. And we did this already in a previous lesson. So how much does the ice cream cost if I get 5 scoops? So 5 scoop I know would be 4 scoop plus 1, which is a 125. That's easy. 10 scoops, I know 4 scoops, and I come around, that's 4 and 4, 8 scoop, and I know 2 more is going to give me 10, so that's 250, or you can take 5 times 2. What about 19 scoop? Are you going to count around? Now the easy way is to think of how many 4s are in here. So I want to break 19 down into 4s. So I know it's going to be 4 plus 4 plus 4. Let's see, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. So I know this is not going to work. So I need to stop up to here. So 4 plus 4 again is 8. 8 and 4 is 12. 12 and 4 is 16. And then 16, what's left over? 16 plus 3 is 19. Good. So how many 4s? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 4 is $1. So this will be $4. And then 3 more would be 1, 2, 3, which is 75 cents. Now 96. If another way to do this is take 96 and divide it by 4. 96 divided by 4 should give you, tell me, 96. If you don't know, I'm not giving you the answer. Check your calculator. 96 divided by 4 is, yeah, of course, 24. And that's a perfect number. There's no remainder, so that means this is going to be $24. So I'm at 105 scoops. At oopsie, at 105, how many 4s are in 105? If you do this on the calculator, you will see it say 26.25. Now what I want to do is take the whole number, which is 26, and multiply it by 4. So I will get 4 times 26, which will give me 104. Okay, so you can't see this 4. Let me just write this a little better for you. This will be 104. So 104, how can I get to 105? I know I have to add 1. So remember, this whole number that we highlighted, that's going to be my dollar amount, 26, and then I need one more scoop, which is 25 cents. Instead, I can count this all the way 1, 2, 3, I can go ahead and count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way until I stop at 105. And it just makes it so much difficult. So what you want to remember is that every 4 represents something. Now, let's try to take this out and do 202. We're on 202. So how many 4s are in 202? And again, check your calculator, hit Control Enter if you're not getting a decimal. So 202, you would get it as 50.5. And remember what to do. Take the whole number, that's my dollar amount, and I want to see how many cents. So 4 times 50 is 200. I have 200 and I want to get two more. So I'm going to add two more, and two more scoops is going to cost me 50 cents. Okay? Now, what I want to go into again is this table. Remember, we talked about this pattern. I said there is always a pattern with every 4. So we said I to the first power is what? Anything to the first power is itself. So this becomes I. Just like what we said previously, we talked about I is equal to the square root of -1, and we said I square is -1. So here we go with -1. I to the third power, we said in our previous example, was -I. And 4 is, I to the fourth power is 1. Then we said, notice that the pattern repeats. It becomes I, -1, -I, and 1. The pattern repeats 1 every 4. Keep adding 4. 2 and 4 is 6. 3 and 4 is 7. Notice they are the same. And then the last one, of course, 4 and 4 is 8. So when you're evaluating these i's, which is what comes on the regions, you want to look for them in terms of pattern of 4. So please copy here. I'm going to be changing this constantly. We're going to do some examples. 11 says, evaluate I to the 76th power. Basically, what I want to do is break the 76 up like I did with the scoops. So 76 divided by 4, I know is 19. So since I is what we said, 4 times 19 with no remainder, we know it is a multiple of 4, so we know the answer is going to be 1. Again, because it's a multiple of 4, 76 divided by 4 is 19. We know that when I evaluate it, any multiple of 4, which is in yellow, will always be a positive 1. 12. I to the 43rd power. We know that this is not, if you check 43 divided by 4, it comes up to 10 point something something something. So we know this is actually going to be I is going to be 40 plus 3. Why is it 40? Because 10 times 4 is 40. So it's going to be 40, which is going to be right here, and then 3 more. Where is that 3 extra? It's going to be a -I, which is choice C. So again, I to the 40th power is the same as me writing I to the 4 times I to the 4th, blah, 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 I to the 4th. This is going to be 10 times. And then I have I to the 3rd. So I to the 4th is always going to be 1, so I have 1 times 1, blah, 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 times 1 times, what's I to the 3rd? I to the 3rd is -I. That's not negative, sorry, -I. This I was trying to, whoops, is what I was trying to clear off here. That should be a -I. And I know 1 times 1 is always going to be 1, and then 1 times -I is going to be -I. So make sure you copy this. I'm going to clear this to get some space. The trick is make them in increments of 4. Remember the ice cream. If you remember this picture right here, oops, this picture right here, this ice cream picture, I want me to highlight these for you. This is our 4 repeaters, patterns. 1 scoop is I, 2 scoops is -1, 3 scoop is -I, and then 4 scoop, that's the pattern. So we are at 13. Number 13, lucky number 13. 13 says I to the 24. We know 24 is a multiple of 4 because this can be I to the 4 times 6, which is any multiple we said of 4 is going to be 1. This is the same as me writing I to the 4th times 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 I to the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. If I was to remember the rule, you add the exponents. This will give me I to the 24th. And anything that's a multiple of 4, it's automatically a 1. 86, but let's clear this up. I to the 86. The point of this is just for you to evaluate these i's. This is number 14. I to the 86. First you want to see, is 4 a multiple of 86? Nope. So you know that, what's the number? Again, do like our scoop. 86 divided by 4 is going to give you 21.5. So you know 21, that's going to be a multiple of 4. And you want to work with what's left over. So what do? 4 times that whole number that always comes down. What's 21 times 4 is 84. That means you need to add 2. So, and you're adding 2, what's I square? I square is -1, which will be choice D. Again, I'm going to explain this again. I to the 86th. What you want to do is take this exponent divided by 4. This is what you get on the calculator. This is done on calculator that I underline here. You want to take the whole number. Forget about the 5. I don't care about that 5. Forget about it. I want to take this whole number, which is 21, and bring it down here. This is just coming down. And I'm going to multiply it by 4 because remember, it's a special pattern every 4. 4 times 21 is 84. They're 84 here, but I wanted 86. So these two numbers have to match. What do I need to add to 84 to get 86? It's a 2. And then I'm going to look, what's I square is -1. That's my final answer. Let's go ahead and take this out and do our last example for this portion. 15 says I to the 17th. That doesn't look like 17, sorry. 15 is I to the 17th. We know this is 17 divided by 4. And again, check your calculator. That's why we did the scoops in the front. 17 divided by 4, control enter. What do you get on your calculator? Perfect. 4.25. And remember, I want to take this 4 and multiply it. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus what is going to give me 17? 1. Perfect. So now I want to know what's I to the first power. It's I, which is choice A. Remember, pause the video, look it again. You need to know, you have to remember this pattern right here. The first 4. That's what's going to get you through this. And whatever the remainder is, that's what you choose. So the first thing you want to do is write that. For most, this is how I remember it, is with the ice cream, I just make a thing like this, and I know this is 1, 2, 3, 4 scoops. And then I go I, -1, -I, and 1. This is how I remember it. And I always go counterclockwise. All right, moving on. Regions, this is how it is. The expression I to the 0 times that is equal to what? So again, I'm just going to come back to my little graph here. Anything to the 0 power is 1 times I to the first power is I times I to the second power is negative 1 times I to the third power is negative I times I to the fourth power is 1. So let's multiply this. 1 times I is I times negative 1 is negative I, times negative I is I square, times 1 is I square. We know I square can be simplified to negative 1, and that's my final answer. Take it one step at a time. What is the product of I to the third times I to the seventh? So in order for do the product means multiplication. This means multiplication. I to the third is negative I. Now I need to find I to the seventh. I to the seventh is I to the fourth times I to the third. I to the fourth is 1 times, what's I to the third? Negative I. So when I multiply these two, I am going to get, so I to the third times I to the seventh will be negative I times negative I. Negative times a negative is a positive. I times I is I square, which we all know is negative 1. The expression I square parentheses 2 minus I is equivalent to. So this is your distributive property. Let's distribute these over first. This becomes 2I square minus I to the third. What is I square? So this becomes 2 times I square is, what is I square? I to the second power is negative 1 minus, what's I to the third? Negative I. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and continue this. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus I. All I did was simplify. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative and a negative gives me a positive, plus I. That's it. Now for your summary today. I know it's a little tough, but I made a nice summary. If you have I to the something power, if you have a remainder of 0, remember these remainders that we were doing earlier with the ice cream scoops and up here to find what these answers were. So if there's no remainder, it's going to be 1. If there's a remainder of 1, it will always be I. If there's a remainder of 2, it will be negative 1. A remainder of 3 will be negative I. And the last thing I want you to do is, can you crack this code? Square root of negative 1, heart math. What's the square root of negative 1? It means I. So square root of negative 1 is the same thing as saying this is I. So the code should read, I love math. And I know you do because you just totally rocked this lesson. All right, work on your problems. Bye.